Overlord is one of my favorite shows in modern anime and is actually one of the few isekai shows that fall under the current MMORPG based trend in the genre that I consider to be great. While some elements of the anime definitely deserve better treatment than what a story of this caliber requires, I'm looking at you bad and cheap CGI army battles, the show definitely still manages to capture the spiritual essence that makes its light novel source material so gripping and engaging as a tale of epic fantasy. So it's only natural that a story that contains sword, sorcery, monsters, epic battles, and medieval era politics in an online role-playing game deserves a concept album. Especially when your main protagonist and all his servants and minions are some of the most badass and metal characters to exist in the isekai genre. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Let's Construct a Concept Album. And in today's episode, I will be pitching my ideas for an ideal concept album themed around the smash hit light novel and anime series Overlord. Remember, if you have any ideas to contribute or share, then be sure to leave them in the comments so that I can discuss them with you. For now, it's on with the show. Roll the intro. For those of you who have either read the Overlord light novels or have watched the anime, you will know that even though the story has plenty of dark and serious moments, it can still be light-hearted and has enough comedic elements that prevent it from being a full-blown dark fantasy, despite most of the actions and decisions by the one and only Lord Ainz-Ul-Gone. So, with that in mind, instead of suggesting the usual heavy and dark stuff, I thought of the perfect combination of musicians, vocalists, and songwriters to reflect the video game fantasy tone of Overlord's story. So, let's start off with the band and their overall sound. The band would have to consist of mostly members from the original lineup of German folk metal band Equilibrium. That means the original vocalist, keyboardist, drummer, and guitarists. However, a few members who perhaps don't contribute to the overall songwriting of old school Equilibrium would be swapped out with, say, the lead guitarist of Sabaton. Sabaton's vocalist Joachim Broden will also need to join, and not just for his vocal talent, but his songwriting and keyboard talents. This means that the project will be able to combine classic Equilibrium's signature speed, ferocity, and overall epic symphonic folk elements with the bombastic battle anthem sound of Sabaton's keyboards, guitar solos, and catchy chorus riffs. This type of sound would match the tone of Overlord perfectly in the sense that Equilibrium's folk sound, which mixes elements of black metal and power metal, would add an emphasis to the video game and RPG elements of the story, while using Sabaton's epic and triumphant style of songwriting, keyboard elements, and Joachim's vocals will give more weight to the actual fantasy elements of the various NPCs and the kingdoms they inhabit. It will also add more kick to the moments of battle between massive armies as we see in the anime and in the light novels. If you're unfamiliar with these bands and have a hard time believing me, then listen to these snippets from Sabaton's Carolus Rex and Equilibrium's cover of the Skyrim theme to get a sense of what I mean. obviously you can't have the original lineup of Equilibrium without this guy. The man's vocals are the very soul and essence of the band's music. That's not to say that Equilibrium's current vocalist is bad or anything, it's just that Helge contributed greatly to the band's early discography, which any fan of the band will tell you is their best material. Anyways, aside from that obvious fact, Helge's black metal vocal style would be great despite Equilibrium's rather uplifting sound. His vocals do add a subtle hint of not only darkness, but carry the ferocity of a Germanic pagan warrior battle cry, which is perfect not just for the world of Overlord, but is fitting for Ein's character being an undead sorcerer and all. Though I should clarify that none of the vocalists I have chosen for this project are playing specific character roles. I picked them because I think their voices either combined or the interesting dynamics between them will create a sound that is worthy of Overlord's story. So in order to capture that adventurous and epic fantasy spirit, Helge's vocals are perfect for the job. As I mentioned earlier, it won't just be the songwriting and keyboards that Joachim would have to contribute towards this project. His vocals would be a great and interesting contrast with Helge's harsh vocals on top of that. Only Joachim's deep operatic voice can make the choruses of the songs work and carry that militaristic element from Sabaton's sound over into Equilibrium's sound. Not only that, but it would fit the more kin and country elements of the various kingdoms and empires surrounding Ainz and his dominion, which is the Great Tomb of Nazareth. Joachim's vocal style has proven time and time again that you can put him in any genre of metal that carries a hint of power metal in it, and it will work. And since Equilibrium's sound has always been the perfect mix between folk metal, black metal, and power metal, Joachim's vocals and Sabaton-style choruses would fit nicely with a project of this kind.
For the grace, for the might of our Lord, for the home of the holy, for the faith, for the way of the sword, give the light so boldly. For the grace, for the might of our Lord, in the name of His glory, for the faith, for the way of the sword, come and tell the story again.
This vocalist is optional, and to be honest, I don't have any real special reason for Powerwolf's vocalist to be here, other than the fact that I, and many other Sabaton fans, want to hear Joachim and Attila sing together because they both have epic voices. Though his sometimes subtle and more gruff layers he adds to his vocals would add an interesting dynamic to Joachim's usual delivery. So yeah, not too much to say other than I just want to see these two collaborate, and hopefully they do in reality.
And we bring fire, sing fire, scream fire, and forgive in the liar, but fire will.
Now, you can't have an amazing project like this without adding some female vocals as well to give the more enchanting, mystical and wondrous aspects of Overlord's fantasy world feel immersive and captivating through the music. Fleur Jansen, who is the current vocalist for Nightwish, is definitely the band's most versatile and dynamic vocalist they've ever had to date. Sure, Tarja and Annette were great, but both specialized in one particular style of vocals, while Fleur can pull off anything from classic gruff hard rock vocals to beautiful soprano-styled opera pieces. Her voice would add a very atmospheric, calming and tranquil elements to the music, and her voice can be used anywhere in the music, whether it's duetting in the choruses with Joachim or Attila, or performing solo in the softer, more somber moments of the songs. Jansen is simply an incredible vocalist, and if I were to arrange such a project in the timeline of our world, there is no way she would not be my number one pick out of all the symphonic metal vocalists out there.
We are a special speck of dust, a fleeting moment on an arc, a celebration, a last haven of love.
Now, it goes without saying that So Bin, the artist and illustrator for Kugane Maruyama's light novels, would have to do the album art. I mean, those of you who clicked on this video and are still watching will notice that I used his art as part of the thumbnail. The guy has a style that just jumps out at you and practically screams heavy metal in your face with his harsh line work, stylish color palette and splattered painting technique. Not to mention the fact that each of his artworks are composed with bold cinematic poses and arrangements that make them feel both badass and epic at the same time. While there are plenty of long-time legendary artists who have done amazing covers for bands in the past, I don't think any of them would be able to capture Overlord's anime and video game tone quite as well as So Bin does. That concludes this week's episode of Let's Construct a Concept Album. Are you an Overlord fan, and what are your ideas for your dream concept album themed around Maruyama's epic tale? Let me know in the comments below. If you like what I do here, then be sure to hit like, subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified when I upload my videos. If you like to help keep the channel going, then you can help me out by donating to my monthly Patreon or by buying some merch from my merch store, which at the time this video goes up will be closed on Monday the 15th of October, so get your shirts while they are hot. And if you are unable to help out in a monetary way, you can also help by sharing this video around with your friends. Finally, be sure to follow me on social media for more news, updates, memes and other good stuff. Thank you all for watching, and until the next video, take care of yourselves, and as always, have a kick-ass day. Cheers.